Fanny thought this was gonna be something she wasn't even gonna have to testify for. Oh boy, was she wrong. Do you know who you after, woman? Do you know who you going after? Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. You took the stand very unprepared to take the stand. For a DA to not know how to take the stand is alarming. And now today you had to sit there and just listen to what was going on. You was all dressed up today, hair all done, everything much different than last time. Now today, boy, they got the hammering and the closing arguments. After they done brought all these people up here, they had the attorney, this Adam Abate guy. He was terrible. He couldn't even talk. He was stumbling all over his words. Meanwhile, they lawyers, they was on the zone, boy. I mean, they had that old man was getting off. You know, that Scott McAfee dude, he was like, yo, you in trouble, Judge. Judge Scott McAfee is like, look, these lawyers are coming up with everything. They want her removed, disqualified for the case, and everything. So the judge is like, look, give me 2 weeks. But what they were bringing up was a lot of different things that pretty much came into play, saying that, you know, her boyfriend, or who wasn't a boyfriend at the time, she keep trying to say, but it's looking more and more like, you know, she's going to be disqualified for everything that's transpired. And the reason that she's going to be disqualified is because they have found reason to fault her, you know. But I don't know. I really don't think this judge he's going to be taken care of by the DNC. But, you know, it's just a horrible way to defend yourself, saying she's the target of a campaign to impugn her reputation. They're talking about allegation from people who had an axe to grind against her, and that the motion should be dismissed. Well, they brought up a lot of good reasons. And here's the thing. The judge right now knows, he's like, look, at the end of a 3 hour hearing, that it's been very much made clear by the argument made today, there are several legal issues to sort through, several factual determinations I have to make. I'll be taking my time to make sure I give this case the full consideration it's due. I hope to have an answer for everyone within the next 2 weeks. So the stakes are high. Let's say if Fani Willis is removed because of misconduct allegations, her entire office would be disqualified, as well as a new prosecutor would have to take over the sprawling case, right? And that Trump and his allies conspired to illegally overturn an election and the results of the state, right? Now, Michael Roman is the guy who filed the motion, one of Trump's co-defendants, seeking that Willis is disqualified due to what happened in the personal relationship with Nathan Wade, who she later hired to prosecute the case. And while he's special prosecutor, he was specially prosecuting her, and she was giving up to Fanny. Old Fanny was bending over that Fanny, getting wore out. So while he was still married and weighing out her Fanny, you know, they knew this was going to be a problem. So trying to move the date back on when they were getting it on would be a conflict of interest. So they trying to say we weren't together then, we got together this time. And everybody could see through that. And that was a lie, that this dude was hitting it. And they got the phone records showing that he made all these calls. He's been going there, leaving her house house at like 5:30 in the morning, and they're just trying to say that doesn't really prove anything. I'm like, to me it does. Prove like this man was hitting it. So they was like, we're here today to file this motion to disqualify DA Willis and her office because of her judgment. Frankly, Roman's attorney John Merchant told the judge, he contended that his client and his co-defendants didn't need to show an actual conflict of interest in the case, just the appearance of one. Why did we need to spend so much time on a relationship between two people? Quite frankly, couldn't care less if they had a personal relationship outside of work. That's not where the issue is here. The issue is that they began this relationship in 2019, and Willis then awarded him a contract 2 years later. He said Wade, who was in the courtroom ahead of Friday's argument, he was there too, and he had denied that him and Willis were dating before he got the job. He had entered the courtroom late in the closings of the argument. He's an idiot too for engaging in something like this, but he's there to get the money, so he know what he's doing. But they should have both know this was stupid. It's Charles Darden all over again. Get involved with somebody messing around on a case. It's like, look, this is not the time to get busy. It's the time to get busy in doing your job. You got a job to do, and you should know there is small margin for error, and especially two black people. They realize this thing is bigger than them. But he was thinking with his dick, and now look where he's at. Now the whole world got to hear you talk about your business personally. Oh yeah, so they had what's his name? Harry McDutless was up there, and he was talking about Jeffrey Clark. He told the judge Willis had 6 conflicts in the case. She had a pattern of deceit, the concealment of the relationship with Wade. They suggested that she's suggesting that his estranged wife conspired with interested parties in the criminal election interference case to the civil, discovery process to annoy, embarrass, and oppress the district attorney Willis. They acknowledged that Willis, she skirted the rules to appoint Wade, and she benefited financially from his appointment, which he earned, or her office earned about 600,000 to the date. And Willis and Wade later acknowledged that they'd been in a relationship, but maintained it was well after that he was appointed in November of 2021. Um, Both of them testified that they had dated a little over a year after he was appointed, right? And it's become a big problem now because both people don't realize that they even went to as far as to bring up things she said at a church. Like they are going to say, "Hey, that's improper. She can't say that." So you're dealing with a large volume of charges and claims and accusations and things that were made, and a lot of improper things were done, even on their side. Like interviewing a guy who they keep saying is lawyer, client privilege, and what isn't lawyer client privilege. A judge is going to have to determine that because now, sharing certain information with the police and all of these things, it's so much of a problem and a headache for anybody listening to this to know that these two black people was on this biggest stage and has definitely, you know, put themselves in a bad spot, a very bad spot. And for their defense is saying, this is a slander attempt and this is doesn't make any sense that we're doing this instead of really defending what's going on speaks volume. And I think they got the wrong approach, and it might cost him. Like, this is not something they gonna brush over. So it's not gonna be an open shut the situation. Well, you know, text messages. Well, Judge Bradley was talking about text message was more believable than his testimony, and should make him skeptical of Willis and Wade's testimony. Like, you don't have to make a findings fact that they lied. All you have to do is make a finding of fact that you have genuine, legitimate concerns about their credibility, about their truthfulness. You know, they described this guy as a disgruntled former employee, um, and just said he's a former partner of Wade's who engaged in a vengeful speculation in the text with Roman's attorney. He noted that Bradley also testified with no personal knowledge about the relationship between Wade and Willis and when it started. So, a lot of things that were both done heinously. They were lying and knew they were lying on both sides. Everybody's fighting for their clients. Both sides have told lies and stretched out things and try to tell things as if it was factual when it clearly wasn't. So, this is going to be a big mess, and I'm glad I don't have nothing to do with it. So, I'm just going to sit back and watch the show, and this shit show blow up, man, it's going to be something else. So, we'll see in about 2 weeks. So, thank y'all, man. And don't forget to subscribe to One Crack News. Hit the like button coming through the door. Appreciate y'all. Love everybody out there. Love, peace, and hair grease. Support Kwame Brown Bus Life, Ticket TV, Armando Black TV. Welcome to HDII TV. And we out the door.